Hi. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Nursing Hub. I wanted to talk to people about memory. It's one of the things that a lot of my clients are concerned about. They're really quite worried about losing their memories. So what I thought I would do is just give you a little bit of an understanding about what our memory is all about and whether we genuinely need to do something about it. So memory is in two major parts. The first part is our short-term memory and the second part is our long-term memory. Now, the short-term memory looks after things like that you've already put sugar in your coffee, or that you know that you've put 2 spoons in and not 1. It's remembering the start of a sentence so that when you've read the end of the sentence, the whole sentence makes sense. That's our short-term memory. You know, the cat jumped over the moon is no good if you only remember the moon and you don't remember the cat was doing it. It's remembering what someone has said so that you can participate in a conversation. So what I wanted to have a look at is the differences between short-term and long-term memory. Long-term memory is things like remembering where you live, remembering to pick the kids up from school, although I do remember forgetting once, and 20 years ago I didn't have a memory problem. Remembering what you actually do at work so that when you get to work you know what to do. Recognising people. Facial recognition is a big part of our long-term memory. And it's remembering processes like tying your shoes, making a cup of tea. So I often say this to my older clients. You haven't lost your memory, you've lost your excuses. And they screw up their faces and they wonder what on earth I'm talking about. And so I explain to them that our memories are pretty constant throughout our whole lives. When we're little, we leave things at school, your lunchbox, your jumper. Did you ever do that? Probably. But you were excused because you were little. When you were a teenager, did you forget to come home on time? Did you forget to take the rubbish out on rubbish night? Did you forget to call when you were supposed to? But you were excused because you're a teenager. When you're a new family, do you forget things? You know, your brain's all a mush because you're not getting enough sleep and all of that sort of thing. Forget where your keys are, where's my wallet, oh, I can't find my blue pants, where's my handbag? But you were excused. Because life for a young family is stressful and you're excused. As you get sort of towards the middle of your life and your career's taking off, you forget things, you forget appointments. Did you forget someone's anniversary? You've got the stress of everything on your shoulders. So you're excused. Because work's heavy or, is having trouble with, finances and all of that sort of thing. But you're excused. So all of a sudden, when you retire, you haven't lost your memory. You've lost your excuses. And then all of a sudden, people relax and they go, yeah, that's right. My memory's been dreadful my whole life. But there are many things that can affect our memory, particularly through different stages in our life. As we get older, things like sleep and chronic illness and medications, hormonal imbalances can have lots of impact on our ability to retain a good memory. Stress, finances are a huge stressor in our lives. And so if we're, for some reason or another, one of the partners in a couple is out of work, all of a sudden your stress levels have gone through the roof and your ability to manage your memory has gone through the floor. Hormonal imbalances have a huge impact. Now, I talked about the teenager forgetting to come home on time or whatever. Their hormonal imbalances might mean that their short-term memories are shot. Doesn't mean that they're going to stay like that the rest of their life. The same thing happens in menopause and just after having a baby. We talk about baby brain and we talk about, the menopause fog. Chemotherapy can do it too. You hear people talk about chemo brain. Medications do it often. Sometimes if someone's in a great deal of pain and they're on pain medications, they can impact your ability to get a good night's sleep, or they can directly impact your ability to maintain your memory. And I've listed smoking here, and a lot of people will go, well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. But smoking is what's called a vasoconstrictor. It reduces your blood vessels to everywhere in your body, particularly the tiny little blood vessels, the capillaries that go into your brain. And where's your memory centres? In your brain. So you might not think you have a memory problem, but if you stopped smoking, you might actually find that your memory improves. I'll just let that sink in a bit. A lot of people think, oh yeah, she's old, she's a bit forgetful, and they think the two of them go hand in hand. Well, I'll tell you now, my mother is in her late 80s. And she can remember this morning as well as she can remember 70 years ago. It's not a normal part of ageing. So if you have any concerns about your memory, please see your GP. There is help. There are lots of supports that you can get. It doesn't mean that you're destined for a nursing home. There are lots of supports that you can have so that even if you have been diagnosed with something that is directly going to impact your memory, that you can keep as independent for as long as possible. So I've included some links here at the end. First of all, your local port of call should be your local doctor. Go to them, book a longer appointment, tell them your concerns. They can send you to a memory clinic and they can work out whether perhaps it's just something that you can change in your life or whether you've genuinely got something to address. This has been another episode of The Nursing Hub. Thanks for watching.